Hey, this is Howsie from Hatchet Dawn, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the gear I use and what was used on our debut album, Rebirth. Okay, so I'm currently using a Mesa Boogie Stiletto Series 2 Trident head. It's 150 watts, 2 channels, and I've been spending a bit of time on my settings recently, so that's why I apologise for the tape. But it's a banging head. I used it on the album Rebirth for all the distorted, dirty sounds. So at the moment I've got a bit of a weird EQ setup. I've flatlined all the bass out. Just trying a few different tricks with the settings. I'm still experimenting with my tone, as everyone knows guitarists do. At the moment I'm a big fan of spongy setting. Bowl was just too stiff and overblown for the sound we're going for in our live tone, so I've stripped back onto the spongy setting. I'm running 150 watts. 50 watts is good, but live you just can't hear yourself. In the jam room everyone's like, oh, is there a guitarist here? So I'm pumping the 150 watts. Yeah, just like again I said, bit of a wacky setting at the moment. I'm in and out of the studio with my mate. We're working on some tones, just experimenting for live and for the next album we do. My main dirty sound I run on the tight gain setting. On our album Rebirth, I had a bit more of a different EQ setup. Obviously studio sound, cabs and mics are different. I'm still working on a clean tone. I'm still playing around with the tight clean and the crunch. The fat clean's a little bit too boomy. I like that broken up, really sort of driven clean before it distorts out. So at the moment I'm banging the tight clean channel, and again not too much gain, just sort of halfway. But tight gain all the way for a big fat detuned sound. Can't beat it. My main cab, which is only a few months old, thanks to Mesa Boogie, I got a chance to pick up a few that come into the country really early on. It's a Rectifier 4x12 GB straight cab. I previously owned the same cab, but it had the top bevel was slanted. Pretty much I've done 2 gigs with it, and it's just best cab I've ever owned. I recorded the guitars with my old straight Rectifier cab for Rebirth, but this cab I can't wait to get in the studio for the next album. The tones are more full and rich, really bassy and subby, but not in the sense it woofs at you. There's just more girth to the tone. I use ESP guitars, and I'm fortunate enough to be endorsed by ESP, which is great. I originally, over the years, collected about 7 or 8 ESPs, but I've sold them and stripped back down to 3 guitars that I mainly use in the studio and live. My main ESP, which is an ESP Eclipse 2, it's the snow white body, running EMG pickups. The configuration I use is an EMG 60 in the neck and an 81 in the bridge. A lot of my clean tones I use on the 60, and all my dirty sounds on the 81. It's banging guitar, sounds great, good tone. You'll notice a lot of my guitars I put a little spongy there to stop the overtones from just natural playing. In the studio and live, when you're really rocking out, you can tend to get a little bit of overtone when you mute the strings, pause between riffs. So I have that in there all the time, just to keep the tone fat and tight. Main tuning in Hatchet Dawn we use is B flat, which is A sharp. So it's a baritone tuning. It's just a straight 6-string configuration. So you got your A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, F, C sharp, F, and A sharp. I've always tuned down. It's just felt natural. I love the sound. I just love deep, dark, dirty riffs. The other guitar I use for A sharp tuning is the Viper. This was the first ESP I ever bought. I recently had LTDs. This guitar I used to record Rebirth with. All the songs in A sharp on Rebirth were used with my Viper. It's a great sounding guitar. Pretty chunky tone, and I'm not really a shredder, so big guitar sounds to me is what I go for. When we got that on Rebirth using this guy. My last ESP at the moment, which is I'm still using an LTD, but this is a VB400. It was a model they were doing a few years back. It's a baritone scale neck. So instead of the 25.5-inch scale, my Eclipse and Viper are, this guy's 27-inch. So caters for that. It's built to down tune. It's fat, it's heavy. The tone is phenomenal. Even though it's not an ESP, but it's an LTD, it still sounds great. I've done a lot of recordings with this guy. Again, same setup, 60 in the neck, 81 in the bridge. I do plan to get an ESP build of a baritone one day. Again, it's a great guitar, usual ESP straight through neck. I recorded all the guitar for the songs in our A flat G sharp tuning on Rebirth. I use this for all the G sharp stuff. It's just for tuning down that far, keeping the strings tight and the tension fat. This ripping guitar. Our first riff I want to show you today off our album Rebirth is the intro to the Catacombs. There was no effects when we recorded this, it was straight through the amp. We just dirtied up the tone with some mic preamps in the studio. And we got a really haunting sort of dark tone, but I'll play the riff for you. It's in A sharp. I'm going to play it on my ESP Eclipse. Repeats again throughout the intro. Like I said, I'm running on my AMG 60. My tone pretty hot in the game, but not enough breakup so it distorts. It's just really cooking. Another riff from Rebirth that was done on the clean channel is I'll play the riff from Rebirth itself, just the main verse riff. We were playing around with my wah on this day at the studio, so we had the wah sort of sitting half open with the frequency settings a little bit screwed up just to get that really weird tone. So it wasn't total amp. It wasn't a total clean amp sound you're hearing. There's a bit of stuff we're running on the day. The riffs is simply one configuration again with just a picking motion that I use a lot. Yeah, so just a really simple, nice little dark melody, sets up the whole verse, come into the big chorus that crunches in with the song. Mother Destruction, the chorus, it's a favourite riff of mine. I play the rhythm for this guy, so it's just big fat chords, big overblown detuned tones. Again, it's just a simple progression, but I add in a couple of different tritone notes just to give it a bit more of a dissonant sort of effect with the chorus. Just big sound, and Hatchet Dawn's a haunting chorus, so it goes a little something like this. Just as opposed to using just standard chords, I like to add in little tritone notes. So instead of just going on the open chord, I add in the little guy up here, so it makes it a little sound evil. And again, as the progression moves up the neck, instead of just following a simple chord pattern, I like to make it interesting and keep it a little dark. So instead of on this chord picking it up, gets that nice little level tone. Okay, so another favourite riff is the Untold. The chorus is cool, it's big and open. I'll play what I play in the chorus. It sort of progresses into a high little haunting melody. fast picking with the chunks in, signature Hatchet Dawn sort of sound. Okay, I got my baritone here, and I'm going to play the intro riff to Planet of Terror, which is the first song off Rebirth. It's a nice moody little intro that sets up the album to come slamming in. Goes a little something like this. Yeah, so you can hear that really alone tone. It's really driven on the clean, but yeah, just really letting the tone of those strings resonate out. So this is comes in after the clean. Yeah, so again, just really nice little flowing structure, big fat riffs, a nice fast punky down-picked chorus, just opens up full of melody for the rest of the band to fill out with vocals, drums and bass. Okay, I'll play for you now some riffs out of Dark Symmetry. It was the lead sort of promo song for the album. It has a lot of the old style sort of riffage in there. It's just very simple, down-tuned, down-picked and just chunky with some fast notes. Chorus is awesome. It just comes up full of big, colourful, raw tonal chords. So I'll play some riffs out of Dark Symmetry for you. Yeah, so as you can hear, it's just letting those strings really flap against the neck and drive out that tone. Get some nice tension on the baritone here, so you really feel those girthy notes. I'll also play a few riffs out of River Snake for you, which is a really groovy kind of, we call it our disco metal song. It's just got that really cool beat, groove, everyone moves to it. Really simple riff, it just captures the flow of the song and sets up the mood for a really bouncing sort of vibe to the song. And I'll play a few riffs for you. You can really feel I'm really hitting down hard on those strings to drive a little bit extra tone out of those fat strings. Yeah, really simple riff, but look, it's hooky, it's catchy, it creates a really good vibe. I'll play the chorus. I sort of take the lead in the chorus of River Snake. Again, my style sort of put in some haunting notes to give it a bit of a dark feel. But I'll play the chorus for you for River Snake. Again, a lot of down picking, all down picking. the main riff out of Burn the Cage for you. It's just again really simple down-picked riff, nice and catchy, and sets up the tone of the song. It's got a real sleazy feel, so you can sort of see I'm really just cranking down those strings, get the tone of the string flapping really nice, and feel that girth against the baritone neck. This is Howsie Noise. I hope you enjoyed the video, and it's just a bit more in depth to what Hatchet Dawn is doing with our music and the riffs I'm playing and the gear we're using. Our debut album Rebirth is out now. Go grab it, you'll love it. It's smoking. Your mum will hate it. It's out on iTunes through Green Media MGM Distribution. It comes as a 3-page digipak. I'll catch you guys on the road. Rock on.
It's calling until it's